organisation continue, we want to see this organisation sustained, and we want to see this organisation go from success to success over the years to come. So with that, I'm now going to introduce David Tansey. We have a little speaking programme, I think, from some of our participants. So David's going to introduce them, but in the meantime, I'll say goodnight and hand over to David. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Agwini usual is fear cúis ónar dom fáilteachraí a chur an ócáid iontach seo leanús. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to the spectacular venue for tonight's event, which has kindly been hosted by the Irish Ambassador to the United States of America, Mr. Michael Collins, and his wife, Mary. I would like to thank the Ambassador sincerely on behalf of the Washington Ireland Programme, Class of 2011, for his hospitality and for his continued support for the programme. My name is David Tansey, and this evening I have the privilege of introducing some very inspirational people to you. I'm from Sligo, a beautiful town on the west coast of Ireland, the land of the heart's desire, famous for W.B. Yeats, Queen Maeve's grave on the top of Knocknarea Mountain, and some of the most beautiful coastline and beaches in the country. I'm studying medicine at University College Dublin, and I'm going into my 4th year in September. At this point, I would like to sincerely thank all the supporters of the Washington Ireland Programme for their attendance here tonight, but more importantly for their continued dedication to this incredible programme. I would like to thank all the host families for putting up with 25 opinionated, enthusiastic, young Irish people with a strange penchant for singing spontaneously when together, whatever the venue. It was a pleasure to get to know you and your families. Kent and Dale Morrison from Bethesda, who are here tonight, had the challenge of coping with myself and Graham Scobie for 8 weeks. Thank you, and thanks to all the host families for opening up your homes to us. I would like to thank the Board of Directors, the management team of WIP, Brian, Heather, Barry and Adrian, for their friendship, mentoring and guidance. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to all the donors of the programme, as well as to the internships. The collaborative nature of the Washington Ireland Programme demonstrates just how much can be achieved when people work together. We are forever indebted to you all. The last 8 weeks has been some of the most hectic, exhilarating, exhausting, but consistently outstanding number of weeks in my life. The programme itself is as diverse as its participants. I juggled interning at the Lombardi Cancer Centre with having breakfast with prominent US senators, from private meetings with congressmen to forums with world-renowned business leaders, from in-class debates to Supreme Court hearings, from debating healthcare with the Heritage Foundation to discussing the minimum wage with union leaders, and even from having negotiation skill workshops one moment to forgetting it all the next moment during an impromptu debate with a classmate on the metro home. The huge level of diversity in events, guests, and even classmates challenged each one of our opinions and broadened our minds. The Washington Ireland Programme exposed us to a litany of new experiences and situations, the American way of life, so many people with completely different outlooks on life compared to our own. And while teaching us to respect these differences, we were encouraged to question our preconceptions and approach everyone and everything with an open mind. This enabled us to break down the barriers to collaboration, get to know the person behind the policy, work together, and ultimately find a common ground where we can move forward based on a shared vision for the future. It is easier said than done, but the Washington Ireland Programme curriculum matured us in this way, a way which will inevitably positively affect our lives and hopefully the lives of others in the future. Northern Ireland has come a long way in the last number of years. Yet the peace process is still fundamentally a work in progress. There still remains a deeply divided society in Northern Ireland. And it is by mobilising young leaders through initiatives such as the Washington Ireland Programme that the peace process can continue to advance and ultimately lead to a sustainably peaceful Northern Ireland. Ireland itself is at a crucial juncture in our country's history. We are in the grips of the worst financial crisis in the history of the state. But there is hope. Ireland has one of the youngest populations in the entirety of the European Union. We, its young people, are its biggest resource going forward. The Washington Ireland Programme is ensuring that our young people are ready to face the challenges of the future and face them by working together. It is the responsibility of all of us as the class of 2011 to take an active role in paving Ireland's path back to prosperity. It was President John F. Kennedy who famously mused that, when written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters. One represents danger and the other represents opportunity. We need to open our eyes and see the opportunity that exists in Ireland at the moment. An opportunity to build a better Ireland once economic success returns again. As Ireland begins to rebuild itself over the next few years, I call on all 25 members of the Washington Ireland Programme, class of 2011, to seize every opportunity that we are presented with, just as we've learned to do this summer. There is no more room for apathy. I implore all of the class of 2011 not to lose the intense momentum which was almost tangible among us in DC over the past 8 weeks. We need to turn the doom and gloom of recession into a sense of hope and an opportunity for renewal. We need to ensure that when Ireland begins to grow once more, that we rebuild it on solid foundations of a fair, just, equal and sustainable Ireland. It is the young people of Ireland's responsibility to determine the direction that Ireland will take this time round, and ensure that we learn from the mistakes of the past as we carve out a sustainable future for Ireland. Every citizen, and in particular Ireland's young leaders, like all of us in this room, who have had so much invested in them, need to strive to play an active role in this process and build an Ireland of peace, prosperity and equality, both north and south. Gur míle maith go leor séiste clon. I will now introduce our first speaker, Siobhan Carroll. Siobhan is from Dublin and has just completed her final year of European Studies at Trinity College Dublin. Siobhan is highly involved with the European Youth Parliament, or EYP, where she was recently appointed the head organiser for the national session in 2009. Recently, Siobhan travelled to Beijing as part of the European delegation for the EU-China Year of Youth opening ceremony, and will take part in a similar ceremony this August, again in China. Siobhan is also strongly committed as a volunteer with children's charities in Peru, Nepal and inner city Dublin. A very committed Harry Potter fan, Siobhan has probably seen the new Harry Potter movie more times than anyone in this room put together. She stayed with Megan and Maggie Donnelly, who I believe are here tonight, and while in DC she interned with Congressman Peter King. She will now talk a little bit about her experience in the USA and the impact of being part of the WIP programme has had on her. So I invite Siobhan up to the podium to take a speak.